Hey, how you doing? I just had a word of just wanted to share something with you guys. Oracion versus cabezon. Oracion is a Spanish word meaning prayer. Cabezon means hard-headed, just being hard-headed. Quiero compartir algo con ustedes, que estás en mi corazón. And I remember distinctly, we had Danielle, one of my uncle's brothers, had come down to Coney Island, New York, in the project like New Jack City, and we would share a meal. That's a Puerto Rican thing to do in my uncle Manolo's house. Yo recuerdo que Daniel, el hermano de mi tío que falleció, él venía a Coney Island a los proyectos y compartía comida con nosotros. Él cocinaba la capuria, tú sabes, cosas, tostones, arroz y habichuela y de todo. Y compartimos juntos ahí y hablamos y disfrutimos. Yo fui a la casa de Manolo para quedarme una vez y Daniel vino y con su familia y compartimos juntos. So we got together at my uncle's house, the one that passed, on April 4th, and we would sit down, have meals at my uncle's house. I had slept over a little bit, just tired from driving and stuff like that. So what ended up happening, during those family sit-downs and get-togethers, joyous times. I mean, really, you forget about, your differences, put them aside, and share. And I remember that when we sat down, we had heart-to-heart conversations. Some of those conversations were about moving back to Massachusetts to be with Danielle or Pennsylvania, whatever what state it is. Durante esas cenas, tú sabes, sentamos y hablamos francamente y sinceramente de las cosas que están ocurriendo. Y una de ellas fue que mi tío debía de regresar a vivir con Daniel en Pennsylvania o Maryland, a donde él estaba. Y siempre le dimos consejos, diciendo, oye, Nueva York no es un lugar para ancianos y para gente como usted. Debe de mudarse a un mejor lugar. Y le dimos consejos. So we talked about the fact that New York, the projects in Coney Island on 23rd Street, that's New Jack City, dude. You still smell the filth, the piss in the hallways. You're isolated, but you share the same ventilation system in the bathroom. You open your windows, you get fresh breezes from the sea and stuff, but to tell you the truth, that's New Jack City, like the movie. It's just crazy drug-infested area, and it's not safe for elderly people. So we told him, we sat down, had a frank heart-to-heart conversations months ago, even when my dad was passing, and even before my dad passed. We, Danielle and us, we had these frank conversations, and we said, look, this is not the place. Y lo que ocurrió fue, tú sabes, cuando usted haz una buena vida fuera de Nueva York y trata de comunicar eso a otras personas, ellos ya están acostumbrados, ya son cabezones, no se quieren ir de donde están. Para ellos eso es la vida de ellos, aunque para alguien como yo que vivo en Nueva York, que tengo en Carolina del Norte, que tengo mi propia casa, para mí yo digo, ¿cómo puede ser que la gente vive así? Uno encima de el otro y cómo la ciudad está tan sucia. Y no sé, pero during these heart-to-heart conversations, we talked about the fact that, the city is filthy. It's just disgusting. People living on top of each other. And again, the heart-to-heart that we had is the conversation about hey, you might want to move from New York just because, and I had this conversation with a lot of my friends from New York. I said, look, Y'all don't understand. Y'all live, and this is normal to y'all, but someone from the outside coming in who's got a better lifestyle, who's got their own home and own property and stuff, at half of the rate of what you pay for rent, and looks at you and say, how could you live like that? How could you continue to live like that? Especially the traffic jams, the subways and stuff like that. It's like, but y'all love it. I mean, but someone like me would be like, no. Tú sabes, para nosotros que vivimos en otros lugares como el Carolina del Norte, miramos a ustedes en Nueva York diciendo, ¿cómo pueden ustedes vivir así? And what's bad is that I lived in New York and I loved it when I lived there, but I hadn't been exposed to nothing else. So then when I got another point of view, I said, I don't know how I lived there and acted like that anyway. And cuando yo vivía en Nueva York, yo vivía así, me gustaba, me encantaba, tú sabes, porque yo estaba acostumbrado también. Nice, I'm not even recording. Pero, sorry, I just messed up on this one. Pero lo que, you know, when you live up in that environment, you see nothing but that environment, and that's normal to you. And so we try to convince my uncle, say, look, dude, you don't need to be here. You need to be someplace else. I know that you lived all your life. You've had your children in this apartment. You in this building. And that's all you know. And so he was hard-headed. You know, he's like, no, I lived here all my life, and this is what I know, and I'm not going to change. And that he stayed on that. He's hard-headed, cabezon. It was a cabezon. I mean, and what ended up happening is you couldn't convince him otherwise. Even though Daniel, I offered him North Carolina to live in, and Danielle offered him where he lives at, Pennsylvania or Massachusetts, whatever it is. Tú sabes, durante esas cenas le ofrecemos varios lugares. Le dijimos, puede mudarse a Carolina del Norte o puede mudarse a Pennsylvania y de todo. Pero él era cabezón. No quería, porque toda su vida estuvo en Nueva York. Tú sabes, tuvo niños allá, crió los niños y de todo. Y para decirle, mudarse a otros lugares, él no podía comprender eso, porque para él toda su vida fue en Nueva York. Y era terco, no quería cambiarse. You know, he was a hardhead. That's why you talk about prayer versus being hard-headed, oracion, versus cabezon. Cabezon means hard-headed. So we use those times to talk to him and say, hey, look, you need to come consider someplace else. And he wouldn't do it. But by the way, there's a lawnmower, and we got birds and over here, nice sunny day, so clear day, not no pollution environment. But getting back to the point is, when you look at Genesis chapter 42 in the Bible, when Jacob learned that there was grain in Egypt, he said to his sons, why do you just keep looking at earth, looking at each other? He continued, I have heard that there is grain in Egypt. Go down there and buy some for us so that we may live. There was famine then. There was a plague up in Egypt. That's Genesis 42:1. And what ended up happening is the blessing laid in Egypt. The blessings laid in moving. Salvation of the family laid in moving. There was no food to eat. The plague had devastated the land. En Génesis 42 dice, está escrito que Jacob le dijo a los hijos, vaya, busca comida en Egipto, vete por allá, hay comida por allá y traiga comida para nosotros, para que nosotros podamos sobrevivir. Hay una plaga en en este país y necesitamos de comer. So, el bendición estaba localizado en Egipto. So the blessings were located in Egypt, but the requirement was that you had to move. So what ended up happening is he sent his sons, Jacob sent his sons. They went to Egypt. Once they went to Egypt, they encountered the blessings. The other brother was there. He was a high person in the government. And he had provisions to keep the whole family well fed, well supplied, and keep them alive. And so if you keep on reading the story, there's a little bit of traps they're in and deceit and whatever, but the end story is that the blessings was in Egypt. Don't be a hardhead. Move from your plague-stricken land to one that's bountiful. La tema de las escrituras en Génesis 42 es que había bendiciones en otra parte del mundo, en otro país. Las bendiciones fue de un hermano de Jacob, un hijo de Jacob, que tenía de todo. Él tenía un alto puesto en el gobierno en Egipto y tenía provisiones y de todo, comida, lugares para quedarse y de todo. Lo único fue que ellos necesitaban de mudarse. And in the Bible you have lots of stories of plagues and people of Israel moving and all this other stuff. If you follow the Bible right, you see that there's many stories of movement. When things go wrong, the people were moved either voluntarily or involuntarily, either through wars or whatever. But the thing is that oftentimes there were blessings inherent in the move. What I'm saying to you is this, is that if you're hard-headed and you trust these politicians to do right by you, I say, you know what, just look around you, dude. I mean, it's the first time in my life wherein I had a loved one die alone. And if, quote unquote, that is normal, or you accept that to be the new norm, I'm telling you the truth, I think something's wrong with you. I mean, the thing is this, if you have your own home in New York and you're not living in the projects or a filthy environment, or you're not having to take the subway, you're able to drive yourself to work, and once you get to work, you're not around other sick people, whatever, or potentially sick people, then yeah, stay there if you got your own home and those you have those things. But if not, pick a state. I mean, the states are listed by how many corona cases are. You find any map, Google it. Pick a state nearest to you with the lowest that you have other family members in or resources in, and move. But I wouldn't stay in New York. That's that hard-headedness. I feel bad because Daniel le dijo a mi tío, venga conmigo. Yo le dije a mi tío, venga conmigo. Pero él fue un cabezón. Y los ancianos no lo pueden cambiar de mente. Eso es el problema. Y lo peor fue que se murió solo. Tú sabes, y no fue que no había consejo o no había oportunidad. Fue por cabezón, pero él le gustaba Nueva York. Y no le podía decir diferente. Daniel had offered places for my uncle to live. I offered places for my uncle to live. We offered my uncle an opportunity to better himself. And I feel like had he taken that opportunity, it was during tranquil times. It wasn't during emergency times. It was just sitting down at the family dinner table and being the Puerto Ricans that we are, gozándonos en una cena, having a good time at a meal, and also talking turkey, talking the basic. Una cena y hablando de verdad, de lo que debe de hacer. And, the prayers is good. I pray, I can't tell you how many times I pray today, every time I think about my folk up in New York. Prayer is good, but sometimes there's a mandate to move. O sea, oraciones son buenas, pero a veces hay una directiva de Dios de irse, váyase, muévase. Tiene que saber cuándo es el tiempo de ir y cuándo es el tiempo de orar. Y hay muchos ejemplos cuando la gente de Israel se fueron de un lugar a otro porque plagas por varias cosas. Hay ejemplos en la Biblia que había bendiciones en otros países, en otros lugares. So what I say to you is this, is I use the biblical example. Um, if you see your politicians are hard-headed and they're causing more deaths, which they are, a quarter of your bomberos, a quarter of your EMS, a quarter of your, all these vital workers are sick or dying. If that doesn't tell you it's time to move, what are you going to wait until the criminals break into your house and you call 911 and you can't get anyone to come out, or you call 911 for an ambulance or a fire, nobody comes out? ¿Qué vas a esperar? Una cuarta de los bomberos, la policía, de la gente de médicas están enfermos. Si usted llama a la ambulancia, ¿usted cree que vas a venir en tiempo? No, no en estos días, no en Nueva York. Por eso te digo, no ser cabezón. Busca la bendición y sigue con la oración. Keep praying, but don't be hard-headed. Look for the blessing. Go to the blessing. The blessing is not in New York right now. Death and plague and misery is up in New York. So I say to you, if you have the opportunity and the means to get out of there, get out. I say this, I'm dedicating this to my loved ones up in New York, all my friends and family, because I'm scared for y'all. And I think it'll get even worse before September, because unless you got medications that come in, unless you have a whole lot of stuff that come into place that's not in place right now, a total shutdown of the city, it's going to get worse. It's going to keep on going high. And these experts with the statistics are stupid, because Germany had a plan. They got the lowest death rate of corona victims. They isolated. They took people apart. They just provided in-home services. Medical people would come in, evaluate you, and even if against your feelings, they would take you out if they felt like you're about to crash. And same thing in China. I mean, how the hell did we get more cases in China when we got more resources than them? This just doesn't make sense. But they quarantine. Y la otra cosa, tú sabes, la China, ellos tenían otro sistema médico de cuando usted se enfermaste, ellos te sacaron del vecindario, ellos te sacaron y hacían cuarentena de los restos en la casa, pero ellos sacaron los enfermos. También en Alemania, tú sabes, los doctores van a su casa, te chequean, usted está en cuarentena, pero si usted se ve que vas a estar más grave, ellos te sacan. Aunque usted quiere ir o no, ellos te sacan. Y hay otro sistema, y ellos están lo más bajo en nivel de muertos, de nivel de muertos allá en este país. Entonces, si nosotros no estamos siguiendo esos ejemplos, vas a seguir peor y peor y peor. You know, the city that never sleeps might go to sleep by death. I mean, if you don't look at the fact that, hey, look, the homeless are being picked up off the street dead. If you don't look at the fact that there's refrigerated trucks with dead people in it, I don't know what else. What picture do you see that I don't see to justify going to the blessing, moving out? I'm just hoping and praying for you guys. I really do, and I hope the only thing that can stop it really is if all of a sudden they get batches of medicine and follow two examples like China and Germany. If not, it's just going to get worse and worse. I mean, la oración mía es que hay medicina. Si ustedes se quedan allá, para asegurar que ustedes van a vivir. Si no hay medicinas y tratamiento, entonces ustedes deben de no ser cabezones, deben de irse de ese lugar. Don't be a hardhead. Don't stay there, dude. Uh, just my 2 cents. Again, when it was tranquil times, we talked with my uncle. We prayed with him, Oracion, but he was a cabezon. He was hard-headed. Como yo te digo, mi tío, hablamos sinceramente con él en la cena, Daniel y yo, y le hablamos y dijimos, debe de irse de acá. And that was more than a year ago, más de un año pasado. We talked to him, but he was a hardhead. Él era cabezón, no quería irse. So, Egypt, Genesis 42, from the Holy Bible, if you get a chance to read it, look at it. Blessings were in another country. God had the blessings already in another country. That was the family of God. It was plagued, the family. Look at it, read it, and think about your loved ones and pray about moving. That's all I say, because if you trust in these politicians, they dropped the ball so bad. This is April. I mean, we know when a pencil drops in China, what color it is, when it dropped to the second, and how much it weighed and everything. So we have satellites to know everything. So we knew in December. Germany knew, and by February, Germany had tests and all the arrangements, and they got the lowest death rate. So preparedness, our government's not prepared. Our government, local and state, failed. Everybody just blaming each other. And I wouldn't put my life. My life is more than $1,250. La vida mía vale más de $1,250. La vida mía de cada niño es más de 400 o $500. Usted no puede evaluar mis niños por tan poco dinero. The life of my children are more than $500. I mean, so fortunately we're here. We have our own home. For half of the price of what you guys live up in New York. So we have home, we have place. But I say to you, please, guys, pray about moving. Think about moving. Don't be a hardhead. Please. Ora de mudarse. Ora, piensa de mudarse. Piensa en las cosas como están. Miran las cosas como están. Es triste la primera vez en mi vida de tener una persona que se murió, se falleció, sin nadie. Eso no es normal. Es una tragedia. Y yo sé partamente por ser cabezón, pero el amor por él dura más que, tú sabes, he was my uncle, I loved him to death. So God bless and pray and move. Thank you.